Good afternoon, my name is Manuel, and today I will give a demonstration of form fields that are commonly used in process modeling. To make this demonstration, I used a flow that is already loaded in the system, and is now also assigned to users that I want to run the process. So, if you want to know how to load a flow in the system, and parameterize the users performing the process, I ask you to see the previous video. It explains all of those informations. So, for this demonstration, we will unload the process that I was talking, and parameterize the fields within the form that is designed here. The fields that I will use are, the text output field, that is used to show information to the user. All data entry boxes, which is a text box, the date box and password box. There are 3 different boxes because they have different behaviors, as you'll see later. And I'll also demonstrate how to make a combo box, or list selection, and how to parameterize, or declare, a link to in process, or out. In this case, we only demonstrate how it's done out of the process to an external website. Then, to add our first field to our form, we will add a field type, the text output. Identify it. Say what kind of field, and associate it a variable. This variable will be the value that will be shown on the form. I also mean that if we want to display a message, without recourse to the use of a variable, we can add a field of the type, text message, which works the same way as a text output, only, has no variable, it has only a text field, which will be shown to the user. The second field, we will add a text box where the user will enter the data, and that data will be associated with a variable. So we have to identify the text box. Say what kind of field. Declare what is the variable that will receive the information entered by the user. Set a size for the box, and the maximum number of characters that box receives. Next, we'll add another box, but this time, a password box. This box will be identical to the text box, only the data that is entered by the user will not be visible, will be replaced by black dots. So we have to identify the box. The type of variable that will receive this value inserted as text box. The size of the box, and the number of characters accepted. The third box I want to add is the date box. This case is different from others, because it has a date picker, to assist the user to enter the day that he wants to put inside the box. So to start, we have to declare the identifier, that will be the date box. The variable that will receive data entered by the user. The date format is inserted. And if we want to or not, we can use the time too, but in this case, we will not use. Then I'll add a field selection list, or combo box, that consists of a selection of subfields. Simply defining the identifier, that is, selection list, for example. The variable that will receive the values selected by the user. And the subfields that the user can select. And so I fulfilled the required fields for this form field. Finally, I'll add a link to my form, to make a link to a site via a URL. Simply select the link field, give it an identifier, which will be the name of the link. The alignment, and the URL. We also have to say that this website will be opened in a new tab, in our browser. Before loading the process in the system, I want to add a small field which is the header field. A field that is very important, which is the field that gives the title to the form. This field is very useful, because the user fits the state of the process in which it stands. Here we give the name test form. And we have to put it on top of the form, to make sense. This done, we can then carry our process within the system. Go to iFlow web portal, enter the URL of the iFlow, and run the demonstration process. The demonstration process will then show us the form we were drawing. We then notice that we have a field, text output, which is to display the information, but it is not showing anything because we did not declare any variable, or associate no value. In the text field box is a data entry field. It is a normal text box. The password field box is identical to the text box, only that information that we insert is hidden or is exchanged for points. It is useful for sensitive information, such as your password. In the insertion date, is a peculiar case. Because we have a date picker to help the user to enter the date in the correct way, here is day, month, year. Selection list. We have a selection list, where we have selected the value or subfield we want. The field link, if we clicked, we will then open a new tab with the URL to declare our form. To finish, I just want to say that if you have any questions, contact my email, manuel.costa@infosystema.com.